One of the issues with the beginning of the universe is what astrophysicists tell us, that there are basically 122 constants that would have had to be perfectly in line within what Stephen Hawking calls the millionth, need to be constants, meaning the laws of physics, all right? The speed of light, the gravitational pull, all of these constants would have had to be in line as like dials, like 122 dials, honed into the millionth for the universe to have ever expanded out and actually become what it is today, where the planets are moving apart. Well, actually the planets aren't moving apart. The planets are stable. Space itself is moving. The planets actually are like buttons on a balloon, and the balloon is the universe, and the universe is actually expanding. And so what happens is that if you have that, in order for that to ever happen, these 122 dials, constants, laws of physics, had to be zoned into the precise thing, to the millionth, or the minute the Big Bang happens, everything collapses into a hot fireball, and you have no planets, no people, no anything. Everything just doesn't work. And so one of the questions is, A, the mathematical probability of these 122 dials being honed into the millionth like that is so astronomical that it is by definition a miracle. The mathematical equations that astrophysicists say you would have to do, it's like 1 to the 10th to the 132nd power or something. There's only 1 to the 10th to the 70th amount of atoms in the universe. The number with 137 zeros after it is the chances for a universe like ours ever to come into existence. So much so that Stephen Hawking says this. He says, quote, "I think there are religious implications." Right? He says, the odds against a universe like ours emerging out of something like the Big Bang are enormous. I think there are religious implications. So there's two issues here. There's one, which is the mathematical reality of that ever happening is just so astronomical that it's by definition a miracle that needs a mind. Saying it happened by chance is just another problem. But then the second piece of it is this. Where did these 122 constants come from? Meaning this, it's the laws of physics have to exist already for them to take place and do their job when the Big Bang happens. And so I was watching this debate with Dawkins and someone else, and he actually said this. He said, look, physics does not have its Darwin, meaning, and he said this, I don't know where the laws of physics came from. So this becomes a problem. It's not only that you need the 122 dials zoned into their millionth, it's that where did the dials even come from? They have to pre-exist. They can't come into existence at the Big Bang or else everything collapses. Gravitational pulls, energy, speed of light, it all needs to already exist when the Big Bang happens so that they can then take over and pull everything apart. And so a naturalist would say, yes, we don't know where the laws of physics came from. A theist would come along and go, we know where the laws of physics came from. They came from a mind. The dials already were lined up and existed because he set them up so that when the Big Bang happened, they took over. They have to pre-exist the universe coming into existence or you get no universe. Now, there's a couple major ways that naturalists deal with this particular mathematical and scientific problem. One, both of them, Richard Dawkins talks about in The God Delusion. One of them is called the multiverse theory and the other one is called the Big Crunch theory. The multiverse theory is basically this. He says, look, I understand that the mathematical reality of this ever happening is so astronomical. If we are the only universe that exists, then clearly the 122 constants of the laws of physics being lined up is insane. It's too crazy. But what if there's an infinite amount of universes? Meaning, what if there's an infinite amount of 122 dials out there, and we just happen to be in the one where the dials got lined up? And so this is literally called the lucky us hypothesis. It's that we're here. We are here, and so we are very, 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 very lucky. We are very lucky the fact that we're here right now. because the constants wouldn't work. So he says, multiverse theory, what if there's an infinite amount of universes and we just happen to be in the one where it worked? The other one is called the Big Crunch theory, which is what if at 16 billion years, the universe, which is expanding, comes back and crunches, and there's an infinite amount of big bangs and big crunches that constantly come in and out and in and out and in and out. If there's an infinite amount of crunches, then there is a chance that the 122 dials of the laws of physics would be lined up in one of them, and it just so happens that we're in that one right now. But give yourself another billion years or something, this universe is going to crunch in again, and the laws of physics won't take over. Now, Dawkins actually follows that one up by saying, we now know this can't be true because science now tells us that the universe will go on expanding forever, or there will be no big crunch. And then for the multiverse theory, the reality is this on that one. There's no evidence for these infinite amount of universes. So we have now entered into the realm of pure speculation about a hypothesis, about an idea of which there's no. So when you ask me to believe in a multiverse theory, what you're doing is you're asking me to believe in an infinite amount of metaphysical realities to which I have no evidence at all. And Christianity comes along and asks you to believe in one metaphysical reality to which you have no evidence, but there are pointers, there are clues, which is God, a mind to have created the laws of physics and the constants in such a way that the universe could ever begin to exist in the first place. So that's the third problem that Christianity wages against a pure naturalistic philosophy